about employment law, because as directors, owners, business people, one thing that worries me a lot is about employment law. It's something that is in everybody's life, whoever owns a company, whoever does business, when you have the first employee to deal with. And this worries me why? Right now, first thing we need to do is check the person's right to work in the UK. It's absolutely important to check the validity of the documentation that's presented to you. So if a person presents a British passport, European passport, can you just believe it's true? No, you shouldn't. Why? Because by law, if you get a documentation that's fake and you didn't prove that you did everything possible to discover or to keep in the records that the documentation was not fake, you can be liable. Liable for up to 5,000 in a fine and criminal record. So first thing you do, you're going to check the documentation. How do I do this, Victoria? Simple. There's a link in the Home Office website. So if you put like checking, immigration, status, Home Office, employers, Home Office, you're going to find the link. There is a link to check this. And what happened is you send the Home Office the email and they scan off the passport and they send back. Not all the times they can say yes, because if the person never registered with them, what they should have done, but they didn't, because most of the Europeans do not register, what they would do is they would say, well, you should contact their embassy. But then you don't need to, because the moment you did this first check with the Home Office is for you, enough to put in your documentation saying, I did try. Second thing, if the person has a visa, same situation. Not only the passports have to check, but visas also. Because I can come to you with a visa and a piece of paper and say, well, you know what, I lost my passport, and when they gave my visa, they gave me this piece of paper. Do you really need to believe on that? Check. First thing, check. If you get an answer from the Home Office, yes, great. If you don't, and they say, yeah, we cannot confirm this, just put in the file. You did every effort possible to save your back. Do you need a contract or the verbal contract is valid? Well, to start, the verbal contract is valid. The person can start. But within 60 days, you need to present a piece of paper with the conditions of the work. But can it be just like 2 pages? Shouldn't? Okay. Shouldn't, why? Because everything is flower, or everything are flowers when you're starting. When things start having as problems between employers and employees, if the contract has 2 pages, you don't really know where to go. So the correct thing will be get a contract done and use for everybody. So you do once, but then use for everybody. And that contract plus a staff handbook plus policies, you can have 3 documents or 2 documents at least, will be everything set between you and your employee. And if you don't have a contract signed, and one day this employee takes you to court for some reason, doesn't matter the reason, you will be fined. The fine is up to 4 weeks of salary, maximum 450 per week. Then, of course, you have to have what's called a minimum wage. The minimum wage in UK varies every year, and the minimum wage is right now $7.20 for people 25 plus. There are different rates for lower ages. And I'm not going to be repeating here what you can find on the internet, but one thing that's important is, oh, Victoria, I have a restaurant. In the restaurant, can I put the tip with the salary to make it the match on the minimum wage? No. You could until 2010, but the law changed it. So now minimum wage is minimum wage. How much it is? $7.20. We talk about, when we mention the verbal contract, this is why it's important to have something in writing and setting up exactly the rules. Because a lot of times when we start, let's say, now I'll give the meals. After 1 year, I decide to reduce the meals because I'm paying too much or I'm spending too much and my company is struggling. Now I'm going to reduce. 1 second. What was in the contract? I don't have a contract. So you start giving. You cannot just cut because you are altering a contract. And when you alter a contract, both parts have to be in agreement. So this is just a little bit of, I would say, a flash of employment law. Again, I'm a director of a company also, I'm an owner, I have employees, and it's difficult sometimes to handle the daily relationship with them. But we need to make the things right, because otherwise they will be going to court against you. And the court are a little bit paternalist, I'm not gonna lie, towards employees, protecting them. Because of course, this is the place of employment law, employment regulation, protection to the employees. So be careful to not make mistakes on this area, because this is gonna cost you money. And of course, nobody wants to waste money to something that's not necessary.